I'm back, continuing my playthrough of Pokemon Sinking Sapphire. Today, we're going to start off with the 5th gym. Of course, I am training up, I guess, 2 members of the squad in particular, trying to catch them up to the rest of the crew here. Once Apollo hits, I think it's 40, it gets Signal Beam, which I don't know if I'll keep, but it's, you know, it's a special coverage move that I can run, at least for now, you know, instead of having to miss out on it when I evolve him, or having to potentially hard scale it back or whatever. But either way, I did make a few changes. I gave myself an Assault Vest, and I gave myself choice items in the PC, because I think it's kind of lame when, you know, a game doesn't give you, like, the cool shit to use during it. Kind of, like, it's just an odd thing. So we'll just take these in the off chance that I want to run them. I don't really think much of my team is going to want to run a choice item. Maybe Heliolisk. Maybe if I don't want to run T-Wave and I want to run Volt Switch instead, which is probably likely, honestly. But a lot of these guys kind of rely on some kind of status move, whether it be setup or hazards or a status move straight up like Will-O-Wisp. But I think AV on Mawile makes sense, because it's 4 attacks. Which, you know, could make Choice Band also an option, but I like being able to switch things up. And, like, Choice Band Sucker Punch is, like, kind of a risky kind of thing, especially. And then, in terms of Helioptile, what if, for now, I give it Scarf Volt Switch, so that way I can get a little chip on something as I'm switch training it? I think that is a... Okay, weird. The cursor memory in this game is, like, so odd. Thermalic Charge, I think... Well, because Bulldoze is a TM, I'm gonna just overwrite that for now, before I, like, fully make the choice. I want to get this thing, like, evolved. It's not really going to be used against Norman unless it is fully evolved. Oh yeah, and as I think it should be in this hack, you know, Altaria has been given Strength. Okay, I guess the PP is, like, messed up, but I think that'll fix itself. Once, I guess it's normally 15? Was it nerfed in this hack specifically? That's interesting. I guess it makes sense because it's stronger. It's not 80 power, it's 100 power, but once we get the Mega Stone at least, this will be good because it'll be Pixelate boosted. It'll turn into a Fairy move and then get a 30% boost, I think, in this gen, right? I think it was 30. Right, it was 30 that was nerfed to 20, whereas Terrain was 50 and was nerfed to 30 from Gen 7 to 8, I guess. Anyway, I changed Altaria's nature to Jolly because I want to run a physical set, so I did that, and I gave myself those items, and I gave Apollo the Tibinator as well. I have not touched any of the EVs or IVs. That is all just as it has been, though I didn't realize, I looked in the docs, your starter is guaranteed perfect IVs, which is interesting. Because, like, when I looked at their IVs just to, like, see what they were, some of them have really good IVs in some cases, some don't, but it really doesn't matter that much. Like, I'm not really trying to modify much. I just... Something like Strength on a Pixelate Mon, I'm like, this makes sense. Something like changing natures, I'm like, Nature Mints probably should have been a thing from this gen instead of Gen 8? Just weird. I don't know. But, yeah, eventually we'll get, like, Dragon Dance on this, and, you know, EQ, plus... I guess I would run... I don't know if I'm going to run Dragon Stab, because it's just not, like, that good when Fairy type exists, but regardless, let's, like, get into some battles and shit. Did I give the Scarf to Apollo? No, I did not. Just to ensure that it outspeeds some stuff, because, you know, Helioptile's stats are not, like, that great. We'll give you a Scarf. There's no normal ground types in this gen, right? Diggersby. Diggersby, though? Yeah, Diggersby is the only one that would be an issue, but in that case I just hard switch and it's not really a problem. So I did fight this trainer last time, it took forever. Partially because I was trying to switch train. And I think... I don't know if I'll necessarily fight every trainer in here, but I want to fight as many of them as it takes to get Helioptile and Altaria caught up to 42. Got a Girafarig. I kind of want to T-Wave it, but no, we're under-leveled. Volt Switch for some chip. I guess we'll Dragon Breath this. Like, I have no idea if this is going to be special or physical or what the moveset might be. Agility. Okay. Zen. We can Cotton Guard. I'm kind of glad that I opted to use Altaria. I think this is a more interesting option that you probably don't see very much of. But I do like Altaria. Like, I think all the dragons in this gen are pretty cool. Altaria, Flygon, Salamence. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, am I? Even if this is, like, Paraflinch cheese, I do have Natural Cure, so... I'm just gonna Cotton Guard once. Yeah. Let's see if this is, in fact, Headbutt. Maybe we can get a para on it with Dragon Breath if I don't get... Okay, at least it's not, like, super degenerate. Oh, wait. Okay, so it's a fairy in this hack. Right. That's kind of neat. That's not. I mean, that is. It normally gets coil, but it's like, this is kind of a problem. Normal fairy. I think this is a Mawile angle. Choice Band probably would have been better here. But we at least nullify the attack boost, assuming it doesn't go for another coil. It does go for another coil. There's a flinch chance, you know, I think this... I think Ironhead will do a good chunk anyway, I hope. Yeah, for being +2 defense, it's pretty good. If it has Roost, I'm putting Toxic on something when I get the TM for that. But... Okay, Dig, that's easy to play around, and because we were Natural Cure on this, I can switch this in pretty safely. I also have a Ghost to switch in on Double Edge, if I think that is going to come out. Would you just glare again? I feel like you're just going to... Oh wait, I fucking... Damn it. I forgot it was a fairy type, like 2 seconds later. I figured it would glare again. In this case, you're probably going for Double Edge now. So I can at least go into this, maybe get a Will-O-Wisp. This is interesting, because this thing's moveset is, like, sort of screwed by my 2 Natural Cure Mons, which is funny. I'm not gonna click Dragon Breath the 3rd time, I swear. Yeah, just Strength. Because it's just gonna glare. Clearly it's programmed to just click glare on anything that's not paralyzed already. What an annoying move. I don't... I wish I could switch Apollo in here. But then again, the faster I get Strife to 42, the faster I can sort of more reliably just use whatever other of the 5 to handle things. Oh, I could have gone Helioptile, damn it. You got a burn, so... Stantler, Intimidate, I guess, yeah. I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp this. I'm already in. I'm surprised at how little that does, but it is a Stantler that's 5 levels lower. Can we not do this? Yeah, go to Apollo. Electric Fire would have been interesting on Heliolisk for like the solar angle, and then it has dry skin for. Also, I made it dry skin, didn't I? Yeah. It gives it a water immunity. It's like, yeah, it would be ×4 weak to ground, but it's already weak to ground, so like who. Like, it's not going to make that much of a difference. And then it would also give it... It's, like, pretty complementary stat. I mean, it's Rotom Heat without Levitate. Like, instead of the ground immunity, you have a water immunity. Which I think could be interesting. We just Strength, I suppose. I know it's not Stab on Altaria, but... It's good base power, you know? And it's stronger than Bulldoze. The issue with, like... I could run, like, Dragon Claw when I get the TM for that, I guess. I already switched this in, didn't I? I'm gonna go into this anyway, because I don't think it dies. And I can just Volt Switch probably to get the kill. Because we were Scarfed. In fact, I could just Parabolic Charge. Get a little bit of HP back, even though I probably would just heal after the battle anyway. I get 2 HP back. I guess I don't really need to if I'm switching it out turn 1, but... in order to switch it back in later in the battle... finally use these. What? Oh, I thought this was a status restorer. Well, it's still like... It's good for this purpose, I guess. Okay, maybe I should go buy more full heals. And I'm gonna have to backtrack through this gym anyway, so... I will, I'll do one more fight since my team is fully healed, and then I can leave. Yeah, because this is the, like, left side, because it's like a big diamond, and then there's, like rooms in the middle. Like 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. So... What's up, Space Cowboy? Ursaring. Would you have been made a normal ground type in this hack, though? I'm a little nervous about that, to the point where I think I will go hard into Altaria here. Just in case. I could look it up, but it's fine. I'll figure it out. X attack's a little bit scary, but I can Cotton Guard. We're also plus speed nature, so I'm hoping, yeah, we outspeed, we get +3. Slash. I guess the crit chance is kind of scary, isn't it? Maybe I then pivot into this. It might be Guts, so I don't want to Will-O-Wisp, I don't think. I'm gonna Horn Leech and see if it's a ground type. It's not, but it 2 KOs. Does have Night Slash, that is a lot. Get a good chunk of HP back. $41, $35. Stoutland, we can Will-O-Wisp, and then get a safe Helioptile entry for switch training. it does make sense that the ghost type would be putting in work in the normal gym. Yeah, go Helioptile. Then probably just go Blaziken, I guess. Yeah, we chew that. It's a Moondrop. I do wish I had the Eviolite, but I don't think you... I think you get it after you surf across towards... like, towards that route that leads to Fortree, so... It's like, at that point, if your team's not fully evolved, I don't... I mean, if it isn't, and you have a Mon, or maybe there's a Mon that you're intentionally keeping in a middle stage, like Magneton or something. Hey, well, I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. I do remember you popping in, I think, last time. Talking about your... was it Pokemon Sword Monotype run? Kangaskhan. I mean, I could pivot Langolier. Get the Intimidate off. Nice, nice. Get the Intimidate off and maybe get a Helioptile entry here. I guess I could sack Trevenant to get a safe entry, but I think this will be okay. Ooh. Yeah, unfortunate. Damn. Helioptile goes down there, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe I should have sacked Dompe then. I'm gonna go heal after this anyway, so... Brandon Candy says he lost 3 times to Leon, oh damn. Well, best of luck. Alright, Dompe goes down, which is fine. Then... I'm gonna pivot Strife here to try to get some EXP on this. Then go back into Langolier, get another Intimidate. I know I'm playing this like... It's like, just go Blaziken, bulk up, and double kick, but I'm like, no, I'm trying to train some stuff up, so... Dizzy Punch. Do you get the Confuzzle? Yes, you do. I forget if that's a guarantee or not. It might be. Well, no. That seems... No, because, like, Dynamic Punch is guaranteed confused, but it's, like, 50% accurate to trade off with that. Do I have any revives? I do. So I can still get Apollo some experience from this. It's not going to be a ton, but it'll be something. Hammer Arm. Updated your team, nice. What did you replace? What did you replace for what? This should be a safe Apollo entry. It is -2 and burned, as opposed to it was previously just -1, so... Unless it crits Hammer Arm, in which case I'm just gonna not bother to try this again, probably. Oh, wow. Wait, was that a critical hit? Did I scroll past the text too quickly? That's unfortunate. Also, I might as well just... I lied. I might as well just revive Helioptile again and just, like, continue to try to train it up. Because, like, I've got more than enough in-game money to, like, buy more revives if needed, and... I'm pretty sure that was a crit anyway, but maybe I'm wrong. Corviknight, Noivern, Lipper... Lucha, Garrett, Drifblim. Nice. I like the type diversity there. The Steel, Dragon, Water... Fighting. I guess 2 Water Flying, so that's a solid type. And then Ghost. Good stuff. I don't know, at this point... At this point, this thing's gonna die to burn before I actually, like, kill it. Maybe strength. That was a weird zoom. Why did it zoom? That's weird. Whatever. Thunderbolt. There you go. 90 BP. I don't think Parabolic Charge is going to make the cut. I think it's going to be like T-Bolt, Hyper Voice, some coverage move, and maybe either Volt Switch or T-Wave, probably. Alright, so the gym leader room is opened, but I'm going to go heal. My day was alright. I finished up what I was doing before I started the stream, and why I had a little bit of a late start was I finished up my script for the Raito Remastered video. I think it should be a good one. I mean, I always, I wouldn't put these videos out if I didn't feel like confident in them to a certain extent, but I think it'll be good. Hopefully more interesting to a lot of people than my episode I guess video, which has a decent amount of engagement, I guess, but like the views are just not really picking up, which is unfortunate. So I need to go like around the outside and then do the middle room as well. Maybe I will do... Because I did the left side. Yeah, so it's literally just like middle, right, and then from the right side to the middle or the middle to the right. So it's like a triangle from here, basically. So, yeah. I think I'll do this, then do the middle, double back, do the right, and then the last room before the gym leader. Think you got enough EXP candies? Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so, right? I think... I mean, this thing certainly got buffed in this hack, for sure. Like, Delcatty is, like, it's gotta be one of the worst stat-wise and stuff like that, mons from this generation. Of course, we're Scarfed, yeah. Might be a fairy type in this, maybe. I get a strength a few times, right? Just click strength. Yeah. Oh my. I mean, fair enough. Like, how the hell are you supposed to see that coming, right? Are you Fire Blast as well? Also, I did not buy more healing items like I said I was going to, but I think we'll be okay to at least get to the gym leader, and then, as seen in the title of the stream, I am planning to sort of like finish exploring the western side of the map. We'll probably at least start our way to Fortree as well this time, but I feel like I don't necessarily have to. If next time it's going to be Winona, but like it'd be good to make some progress because there is quite a bit between Winona and Tate and Liza in terms of like stuff to do, you know. Although I guess, yeah, no. Yeah, because you have to go to Mount Pyre. Oh wait, I don't even need to switch this thing in after I revive it. I forgot about that. Also, this is a problem, a bit. This is a bit of a problem. I feel like you might have Ice Beam, so I don't want to go into Altaria here. Thank you for landing your 50% accurate move. Very cool. Double kick here. I don't think this kills. Yeah. Okay. I can afford to do this once more. Come on. Dude, this thing hits a raw zap cannon, and turns out it has lock-on to, like, not even have to try going for that shit. Zap cannon didn't really do very much the last time. I think I live. So I'm just gonna stay in. Yeah. Thankfully, I don't think battles are gonna drag like they are here once everything is trained up and I don't have to worry about switching and shit. Oh, as far as like other combinations with flying type? Yeah, I guess like a lot of flying combinations actually were in Gen 1. Ice, Electric, Fire, Rock with Aerodactyl. Is Apollo a safe switch? I actually kind of don't care because I can just revive it. Guarantee the EXP. Secret Power. Yeah, this thing dies to everything, but it's fine. At least, again, once Altaria hits 42, I will not have to arbitrarily... Why does everything have fucking Blizzard? I won't have to arbitrarily switch it in to try to get EXP and then get Blizzarded to death, because, sure, just normal type things. I feel like I can just go Langolier here. This might be a fairy type in this hack, maybe. I know its Mega is normal fairy. We can just Iron Head and see. No. We are Assault Vest, so we do chew this pretty reliably, actually. Good shit. But yeah, and then I guess, like, yeah, Golbat is another Gen 1 Mon with a flying pairing. Normal, of course, Pidgeot. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back and heal at the Pokemon Center. As tedious as this is, it's like, okay. Gotta get the squad up to snuff. I don't believe I have any rare candies. I don't necessarily have to go for Signal Beam, but again, it is like one of those moves that, like, could be useful, maybe. And I don't really have anything better to put on Heliolisk at the moment, I don't think. Get some full heals. Good on Super... Well, maybe I can just grab a couple Super Repels while I'm here. Because the water routes are pretty bad with that. Although we're doing the western side, so, like, it's just kind of the route to and from Dewford, basically. That's, like, the majority of it. I don't know that I'll fight everything, or every trainer there. But I at least want to, like, explore and, like, you know, do Sea Mauville and New Mauville and get the items in there and stuff and just see what's up. Am I ever actually running safety goggles? Probably not. Oh, powder moves. I have 2 natural cure mons, one of which is immune to powder moves in this gen because of grass typing. It doesn't really hurt to just hold on to it. Sell this, though. Root fossil. Yeah. I think I lucked out and got this hard skill from a Rock Smash rock. Keep the Pokeballs in case I want to swap something out later. And obviously can't sell key items, but yeah. Yeah, I think in terms of like combinations, like type combinations we haven't seen, I don't think flying is included in any of those, to my recollection. Like, I know fairy fighting is one, I think. Fairy ground is another. Okay, yeah, the middle room, right. I haven't done this one. Yeah. Sure, we'll save again. Toxic would be helpful in a situation like this, but at the same time, like, I've got plenty of strong ones, like breakers and shit. Like, Blaziken's pretty strong. I mean, it's perfect IVs, because that's how the starters are in this game, in attack. And I'm gonna pivot Strife, because it's close to hitting 42. And it's a Blaziken, so it just has pretty good stats all around. I think I'm gonna go Blaziken here. I mean, it's easier for Blaziken to just, like, totally sweep this entire gym, but yeah. Oh, we chew that pretty reliably. And bulk up once to nullify... Well, okay, I guess X defend is +2, right? So... Oh. We actually eat that pretty reliably, too. And this is not sheer force, this is intimidate, as we saw when it came out. Hey, I just double kicked twice. I think the crit did matter, but who cares? 42, there we go. Moonblast. Ooh. I mean, I know... See, like, normal Altaria, I guess a special attacking normal Altaria, you'd want to run probably, like, dual stab. But, like, a Dragon Breath Parachance, if I'm running T-Wave on Heliolisk, gets a little bit unnecessary. And even though this is not stab, I like Moonblast better as coverage, even on a physical attacker for now. What it is going to be, I forgot. Like, it's going to have to be Fly for convenience sake, unless I do want a Boxmon to use Fly. In which case it'll be like Declaw, Strength, Earthquake, DD, I guess. But yeah, while the Parachance is nice, it's a little unreliable. I'd rather just click T-Wave or even Will-O-Wisp with my other mons in the back for status. This thing can actually be kind of a threat at times, yeah. Or, no, it's just, like, really defensive because of Fur Coat. Look at that, outplayed. Totally... Yeah, totally saw the surf coming from the damn Furfuro. I mean, because it is physically bulky, maybe going into a special attacker is good. Scald, maybe we burn it, that'd be great. Although, if it's surf, then... This is a very interesting thing. I guess I don't want a T-Spike, because that would make me weak to Dig. Acro would be great here to play around this. I'm gonna stay. I just want to see what this does. I can't imagine that Dig is gonna do a ton, even to a minus defense grant. Yeah, like, come on. Come on now. Yeah, that 2 KOs and we burn it. It does have Wild Charge, but I think the burn We would have lived that even without burn, but not as nicely. Scald. Hollow's at 38. Azula's at 44. Miltank. I'll probably go Apollo into Trevenant and Will-O-Wisp. Because I hope this thing lives a body slam. Come on now. Okay, thank you. Wisp might be overkill, but Miltank is pretty bulky. So, it's possible we wouldn't 2 a KO. I mean, I don't know. This is a safer play, and it results in the same thing. I'm not trying to, like, speed run or, like, necessarily do this in the fewest turns possible or anything. If it gets the win, it gets the win. And yeah, with the defense drop, that would have 2 KO'd, but it might have been a roll otherwise. I don't know. Kind of looked like it would be. Okay, and it's doing this shit, so I'm good to have. I'm glad to have the passive damage chipping away at it. Let's see, burn actually came into play. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, your defenses were not high enough, apparently. So the right room we haven't done yet, but I think I'm going to... Once again... Well... This would be like, what, 4 Moo Moo Milks? If I'm going to use, like, 2 of them against Norman to match him... Then I think I should have enough. I mean, I might need to go... I probably don't need to heal Dompe right now. Moo Moo Milks are still viable. They won't be for terribly long. But... yeah, recovery room. Ooh, big EXP. Okay. Volt switch for... That actually did more than I thought it would. I thought it would just do like 1 tick. Like 1 tick of damage. You have a physical move? The T-spikes? I think a T-spike here might not be a terrible idea. In fact. I'm glad we dodged. I'm gonna T-spike. I've been going back and forth as to whether or not... I'm gonna do 2 T-spikes. As to whether or not I think T-spikes or regular spikes would be better in the long run. And I almost kind of think T-spikes might be better, because I was saying how Toxic would help in certain cases. And that is one way to inflict Toxic, is set up 2 layers, but... yeah, I don't know, because, like, you know, T-spike gives me a grass immunity, whereas regular spikes give me an electric immunity, so it... But then again, I have a dragon type on the team, I have an electric type on the team for electric resists. But I also have a shit ton of grass resists also, so it's like... maybe the defensive utility of that doesn't matter too much in this context. Chansey goes down. Big EXP. Massive EXP. Substitute. Got 4 move slot syndrome going on. I know Sneak might not pan out in the long run, but I do think the counterplay options are there. And in the instance that, like, it's nice to have priority as well. I don't think sub makes the cut, but it's an interesting option. What do you mean? Also, this is thick fat, not immunity. I'm gonna go Apollo. Well, I guess the thing with setting up T-spikes is, like, if I want to burn something in the back, though, then that becomes an issue. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it, I guess. I'm gonna go Mawile. Also, I gotta make sure it defaults to top chat, and so it's that, like, I guess filters out spam and shit like that. But I wonder if sometimes having it on top chat instead of live chat, like, accidentally deletes messages from, like, actual people. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Figures of Para would happen at some point. But yeah, you also died a Toxic. Okay. See, I hate that. Like, I'm fine with being outplayed on Sucker Punches from, like, them clicking a status move. But when it's a potion, I'm just like, can you not? I spoke too soon. We can break this with Blaziken pretty easily. Or, yeah, Dompe's probably a better idea, because I can't get parried. I cannot get parried from Body Slam. We can go for defense drops with Rock Smash. Lucky Ducky. Luckiest Snorlax of all fucking time, alright. Oh, that does a shit ton, wow. If you pull Crunch again, I swear to God. Alright, thank you. Snorlax goes down. We hit 44 with Dompe. Goes Bliss. Badly poisoned. I think I'm going to take this opportunity to heal up Apollo in the back so I can switch it in. Does this not have, like, Flamethrower or something? I don't quite understand. The team's going to be unevenly leveled for a bit, just because of the switch training stuff, so I'm not really too concerned about Dompe getting a bunch of EXP from this thing dying in a sec. Can I just stay in on this? Like, is T-Bolt really the best thing you have? Why not go for Sing on Trevenant? The in-game AI really confuses me, man. Sometimes. Okay, well, this is not going to work out the way you want it to. Soft-boiled. Better not be typing heinous shit in my chat. Yeah, this will eventually die to Toxic. So, we just guarantee most of the experience goes to Helioptile, which will ideally get to level 40, and then I can, you know, get Signal Beam, which, you know, again, I'm getting for some reason. Okay. And then use the Sunstone to evolve it. Nice. Gets Hyper Voice at 43 once it evolves. Get rid of Quick Attack. This thing's gonna be pretty fast. Base 109. Phantom Force. I mean, the AI is pretty dumb. Normally a 2-turn move would not be a consideration, but the AI in this game is pretty stupid. But is it worth... Like, I mean, 2 turns... This is what? 135 with stab? I made some bad calcs in previous streams, I think, with calculating stab. But 135 versus 105. But this is also... It would be 210 over 2 turns versus this. This is just bad, right? Like a 90? I feel like that's not strong enough, though. Oh, weird. Alright, so there is one more room before the gym leader. I'm ready to get cheesed with Fissure and Sheer Cold, and more likely Horn Drill. Alright, so we're good to evolve Apollo into an actually usable Mon. And one of my favorite Gen 6 Mons. I do think if it was Fire Electric, it would be more interesting. But, you know, it's still cool as is. Wish it got Boom Burst, maybe. Which I don't think, I think it only gets Hyper Voice, but... Yeah, so no rare candies. I mean, it's still behind, so I will still lead with it, but I think I'm gonna switch... I think I'm gonna switch it for Specs. Of course, T-Wave is not gonna be an option, but I can... What kind of special moves do you get? You don't even get Echoed Voice? It's weird. Not Overheat? Has Volt Switch. It can also use Flash if needed. Like, if I really want to use Flash in, like, Victory Road, I can sub, like, you know, Volt Switch, or once I get the TM for T-Bolt, I'll, like, sub one of those for that if I really want to use it. Because it's a TM. I don't know why Rock Smash isn't. It's so weird. I don't get it. It's infinite use. You could have just made it... You could have just made them fucking TMs, dude. They could have done this in Gen 5, too. I mean... Strange. They could have just had, as I've said in the past, they could have just made field moves a separate category that doesn't overwrite your battle moves, but whatever. The ride Pokemon it is a solution, but I'm like, it's cooler when your actual team is doing stuff. But they still haven't figured out this like this one obvious thing. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't really get anything particularly worth noting. But that's fine. A status move on a Choice Mon isn't like super uncommon either, because sometimes you just want to click that and then switch out, like, you know, hard switch, instead of Volt switching or something. But I'll probably get rid of T-Wave for Hyper Voice if I had to guess. Alright, one more... God damn, we're already almost an hour in. One more trainer fight and then Norman, and then we can go do something else. Like, go explore. Ideally get some cool items and stuff like that. Yeah, I will probably actually... Because it seems like we're a little over-leveled still. So I'm kind of the mind that I will just try to maybe even ignore a lot of the swimmers. I mean, the water routes would have been a good spot to train up Heliolisk, but it's already pretty much caught up, so... Oh, right, this is not like a one-hit... It's a critical hit move. Oh my god. Welcome to the team, Heliolisk. Holy crap. I just, you know... Why? 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 Like, this thing outspeeds me. I don't know why I wouldn't just, like, attack. It's annoying. How does that work? I know, like, the generational upgrade thing. That was a crit? Wow, that's kind of pathetic. As a PC player, as a PC gamer, I don't have to worry about like generational upgrades like that, like PS4 to PS5, Switch to Switch 2. I think it's shitty when they don't offer an upgrade path. Obviously that's shitty. But I also I've never really had to deal with that, so like I don't know what the unique situation is with DMC5 that you're mentioning about Special Edition versus upgrading, or like what the difference is or whatever. Oh, the Special Edition is a separate release. Interesting. Oh, because we're higher level, one-hit KO moves don't work. And so it's both critical hits and one-hit KO moves, okay. Okay, I see what you mean, though. I think on Steam it is just... I think they just upgraded the... Like, usually with special editions and stuff like that on Steam... Usually... It'll just be, like, an update to the original page. And it'll just, like, include the DLC or something like that. It'll be, like, another option to the base game or something, but... Who do I want to lead against Norman? I guess Heliolisk could work. Base 109 is pretty fast. Gets EXP on it. And I'll at least chip it in a range of something. Like, if I think a normal or fighting move comes out, I go into Dompe, I guess. Or I lead Gren and T-Spike, but then there's the risk of a Gutsmon coming out. I also probably want to, like, try to burn, like, Slacking, for instance. So I don't know if T-Spike is actually the right call. I'll lead Heliolisk. We'll try it. That's weird. That just seems like an oversight, I guess, on their part. I mean, maybe it is malicious. I have no idea. Alright, 5th gym leader time. I guess I could go get the Mega Bracelet before exploring, but... I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, that's just weird. I don't know. Ambipom. I think you're going for Fake Out turn 1. Yeah. So predictable. I can just Wisp. Nice quick Clop Rock, that's huge. It probably has knockoff, but... Acrobatics. Damn, you really tried, didn't you? This thing really tried, didn't it? Do I think Horn Leech kills? I don't know. I might as well click it, because... Yeah, we get outsped, and I can at least, like, heal back to full. Well... At least damn near full. No, not as close to full as I thought. Do you use full restores? I mean, you're definitely gonna potion or something. Hyper potion, okay. It's been clicking acro. I think I'm safe to just go into Apollo on the acro. Oh, and you'd have to reset your progress? Damn, that sucks. Sounds like someone's making the switch to PC when the PS6 comes out. Staraptor. Unless you're Scarf, I outspeed. So I'm gonna try. Okay, you're not Scarf. Are you? You're not Wakanberry. You're not. Okay, you're not anything. Goodbye. Goodbye, Staraptor. Saw's book. We got knocked off, right? Oh, Signal Beam. Wait, this might have like no, Stomping Tantrum wasn't in this gen though. Does it have a ground move? Maybe. Maybe I should Volt Switch. Like, we don't have the specs, so I'm not as confident in Signal Beam, like, doing enough. And if it has a ground move... Really, Dompe is, like, the switch. Dompe is just, like, the GOAT of this playthrough. Oh, since it's a separate... Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Jump Kick. Damn, he really tried. Norman really thought he had me there, didn't he? Mega Horn. Smock Rash. Goes into Exploud. This is a special attacker, I would assume, with Boom Burstio. Probably. They go on our Steel AV Steel type. Yep. Oh my god. Okay, that was a crit. I was gonna say, like, what the... Okay, we don't outspeed, unfortunately. And it kills me with Flamethrower because of the crit, and that's okay. Don't want these things to go too smoothly now, do I? Or do I? Just double kick. Oh my god. HP invested as shit. Stop critting, you douche. The fuck? At least it's 2 KOs and I'll be faster than everything. Nice, nice. Those sound like some good discounts for sure. Bouffalon. I know that Slacking's in the back. Question is it still Truant, or did they make it slow start? If it's Truant, I can super play around it. If it's slow start, I also kind of can. I kind of think I just kick this thing in the face, and then, like, sack this. Then again, I could keep it and heal it with my allotted 2 healing items to match Norman. I think I just kick this. Maybe King's Rock would be good. I don't know if... Wait. I can buy a King's Rock from Slateport, and I think that multi-hit moves increase your flinch chance. So I know it's not, like, amazing. It'd be better to run just a stronger fighting move, but... That is an option. Do I think Thunderbolt kills? Might as well go for it. Because I don't know that this thing is doing... No Mega yet. We get that after we surf, once we get surf after this badge. But then again, the back half of this game is like... It's interesting, because like the second... I would argue the second half of this game is after this point, even though it's 5 badges versus 4. You would think 4 badges would be the halfway point, but there's kind of a lot for the end of the game. And plus Delta episode and stuff, so like there's going to be stuff. Do I think you have EQ? If I do, Dompe is still just like the correct switch in, and I can... Because whether it's normal, ground... Oh, play rough. Ooh. Well, I'm glad I didn't switch into Altaria. But you are Truant. And of course, I miss, because... Yeah? You probably have a dark move, yeah? I'm just gonna go into this. This is last, it's Truant, so like I'm not too worried about it. Just went for play rough again. Why? I mean, I can just try to Scald Burn this, I guess. Maybe it's Choice. Maybe it's Choice Band or something. No, it's a berry. I guess it doesn't have a dark move, though. Because it definitely would have clicked that on Trev. That's fine. We'll eventually get a burn. Also, slack off with Truant. It's fucking terrible. Can we get a burn? 30%, please. Thank you. This is not, Is it Covert Cloak that prevents secondary effects? That's not even, like, in this gen, I don't think. Yeah, so, like, just because Gym 5 is so quick after Gym 4... There's, like, still a lot to do, because, like, there's really long routes, first of all. Okay, we just killed... No burn after, like, fucking 40 scalds, but okay. Super easy fight, actually. But yeah, like, the really long routes before the 6th gym, and then there's, like, a bunch of Team Magma, Aqua stuff, before you can go to the 7th gym, because you do their hideout and stuff, and then you do the 7th gym, there's optional dungeons and stuff like that. I guess you can kind of, like, beeline straight to Sootopolis after Moss Deep, but... And, like, you know, the story picks up with Groudon/Kyogre, Elite Four, etc. But then Delta episode as well at the end. So we'll have plenty of Mega evolving being done. Dude said sigh. wholesome, but also, I don't know, I never really, like, bought into this aspect of this game, I guess. I'm not gonna, like, shit on it, but it's more just, like, I don't know, it just always felt like kind of a secondary sort of thing to me. But then again, it's like, well, how often do I really, like, truly pay attention to this game's story? Whether it be here or Gen 3, which, you know, I'd been playing for a good 10 years plus by the time this game came out, but yeah. Stop trying to make this game's story emotional, stop it. It's not going to happen, stop trying to make it happen. All power to you if somebody out there does, like, really feel emotional or resonant about this game's story, but... Why? Why are you automatically taking me somewhere I don't want to fucking go? They put a route from Oldale Town to Mauville specifically for you to use Surf to get here. Why? Oh my god! My hand is sweating from all the fucking hand-holding, dude. Jesus Christ. And I like Gen 7. Whatever, I don't know. I'm like half... I'm exaggerating, obviously, but it's like, dude, at least the previous times they gave you the option to say no. I did not consent to this? I did not consent to being dragged over to Mauville? Like... Dude, they put the surf route that, like, you are undermining your own region design, man. This region is literally designed to loop in on itself. Let me show you guys. I'm sure you know, but yeah, it's all fucked up. Whatever. So, get this. So, like, you're here. It's like, oh, I can't cross here because there's water there at the beginning, right? You go through here. You go up to Rustboro. Oh no, there's Rock Smash Rocks here. I can't go here. I can't surf up this way. So better double back. Oh, Mr. Bryony is going to take us through here. Oh, all these surf routes that I can do once I can finally surf. Brawly, whatever, come up here. Okay, I still can't cross here, but you can see, oh, that's where the beginning of the game is, cool. And then you beat Watson, you get Rock Smash, and it's like, oh, well, first of all, there's a blockade here because surf is here, so I can't do that. And I can't go here still, so I can go back here. That's how you get strength normally in the original game. But that allows you to go back. Doesn't really give you much there. It's really more so you go north. This is blocked out by Team Aqua. You don't have the Go Goggles, so you take the Jagged Pass, or the whatever it is, Fiery Path, up here to Fall Arbor, right? Oh, the desert's in between here. Okay, cool. You go through here. Okay, waterfall and shit like that, yeah. But then you come down, and you end up in Rustboro again. It's like, oh, look, we just came full circle through here, and guess what? I could take Mr. Bryony and go, like, all the way around here, or I could take Rustboro Tunnel, which I probably noticed the Rock Smash Rocks earlier when you fought the Aqua Magma Grunt there to begin with. And then you're in Verdant Turf, and it's easy to cut back here. You go to Mount Chimney, cut down to Flannery. Strength doesn't really let you do a whole lot right now. You can go to Fiery Path, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep doing this. So, yeah, so you beat Flannery, whatever. I guess here you would cut back through here. That's, like, the only questionable one where, like, I could see it being okay for May to just take you back, but then you get the Go Goggles, so, like, you want to explore the desert, and then you can go south to either Mr. Bryony. Actually, you have to take Mr. Bryony or Verdant Turf Tunnel, which is a little roundabout, but it's fine. And then you get Surf, and then, oh, look, I can cross here, and I can cross here, and I can explore here. But instead, the game is like, no, fuck this. This thing that was designed here to literally give you a shortcut back to Mauville, fuck that. We're just gonna warp you there arbitrarily. It's fucking dumb, dude. Alright, we're gonna lead Strife because it is the furthest behind. Everything else is in order, looks good. You get the Mega Bracelet to use Mega Mawile, but I kinda wanna explore first. Because I'm not really gonna... Mega Mawile is not gonna be that useful on the surf routes. All right, but now that we're here in Mauville arbitrarily, I guess Fiery Path Strength would be something to do. We'll keep the Acro Bike because I think it is more useful in this next chunk of the game. For, like, exploring optional areas, at least. But yeah, I have a Strength Mon, which I had to PK Hacks on because, again, the Pixelate Mon... Pixelate Mega does not get the stronger normal type HM. For some reason. And, you know, Return has a max power of 102, I think. So it's really not missing out on much. If you're running a physical Altaria, it's like, okay, I can justify... Why are these guys still here? Ba 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 na na na. We do have a heart scale. I mean, Fall Arbor's kind of out of the way. What could I relearn? Like, Flare Blitz and HJK were options on you. I don't think very much of use is going to be here for Apollo. We checked Langolier, there's not much. Yeah, it's really just these two, from what I'm recalling, and for Gren it would be like Gunk Shot or regular spikes, if I want to go regular spikes over T-Spike. I mean, Winona's the next badge, so like it's not going to matter too much. I'm just trying to think. Like, having the option to... Like, if I'm gonna run T-Wave on Heliolisk or something, if I'm gonna do that, like, it's nice to not set up T-Spike for the option to either Para or Burn in some cases, and not accidentally proc Guts, so I think regular spikes might be better for that. And it makes me immune to Electric, so, like, I can... Okay. Hey, look at this. You can use Strength. Okay, it was actually for a TM. Garbage TM, but it's still a TM. Although I think, does Nature Power changes based on terrain? It's like that could be an angle, but there's no auto terrain setters in this gen. There's no surge abilities. Right, this is just a matter of not pushing it too far to the left. No, it's not. Toxic! There we go. Firestone. There's a joke in there about the company, but I could not think of it fast enough. I don't think there's anything left to do north of here. I think it is literally just... It's like that route above Rustboro is one. There's Mount Chimney trainers, but do I care? Like, I kind of demolished Norman. And there's a lot of trainers before the next gym, and my squad is pretty much evenly leveled, so I think it'll be okay. This is something... Oh, interesting. Interesting. I think... So, like maybe I should save this for a video or, like, implement it into some video on something. I don't know what game that would be on, though. But I had been thinking, like, when people talk balance in, like, a turn-based RPG, and it's like, oh, this game's too easy, whatever, you know, like, that's usually what comes up. It's rarely this game is too hard, because then it's just bumped down the difficulty more on. But, well, I guess, like, unless you're evaluating what the, like, the quality of the design of a harder difficulty, right? Because there are harder difficulties that, like, in certain games that I will not touch because they are poorly designed in some fashion. Or like they incentivize a certain style of play that I don't like. Like Fire Emblem Awakening comes to mind, Lunatic, and Lunatic Plus especially. It's like, who actually enjoys this? I mean, like, if you do, sure, but like, what I don't know. I don't really like Awakening that much these days. Anyway, but anyway, my point being is, like, it all kind of depends on how many, like with the traditional turn-based RPG, right? It's like, well, are you fighting every single encounter you come across? Like there's like what level benchmarks are you hitting for certain bosses, you know? And like, you wouldn't necessarily know about these things on a first playthrough of something. But it makes me wonder, like, I've been thinking about it when it comes to, oh, Heliolisk gets Surf. Also, yeah, wait, I didn't consider that. I can keep Scald on Gren if I want that burn chance. I think I'm going to run 4 attacks on this, probably. I mean, it's going to be dual stab plus Surf. So Signal Beam, there was no point in going after this after all. This hits ground types, which is the big thing. Yo. Yeah, because like the trade-off with Scald when Surf is 90 power is like not usually worth it. When it's 95, it's like, okay, yeah, that's a big power bump. With 90, eh. But anyway, when it comes to like Persona 3 Reload in particular, which I seem to not be able to shut up about, but point being, it's like I remember watching some videos on it and like closer when it came out, in addition to like my own opinions in my own video and stuff like that. And I don't know, like, yeah, it was definitely on the easier side, but like the way some people were talking about it, I was like, were you like fighting every single shadow you came across? Like, there's just certain things like that where I'm like, how were you playing this to where we had these like somewhat totally different experiences with it? Maybe I'm just bad. I guess that's a possibility. But like, I don't know, like, it could have been harder, but it's like, I thought P5 was like balanced worse. So I found it strange when people were talking about like Theurgies being too abundant and stuff like that, and I'm like, or like too strong, and I'm like, I just did not have the same experience. But again, it like depends on how you're playing it, right? Like, are you using the Great Clock to level your party up and put you on par? I ignored that outside of the first mandatory one in the base game. And like, I don't fight every single shadow I come across either. And the thing is, should I talk about this in the Raito video? Maybe. But the thing is, with enemies in the overworld versus random encounters, I talked about how it can random encounters can benefit Pokemon because of Nuzlocking, and like if you're trying to do some kind of random thing, it makes it easier in that way. That's where I think like a toggle would be nice for Pokemon in particular, because it is like, at the base level, it's a more casual experience. Not that Persona isn't more casual than like other franchises, but like it's like a different thing, you know? And that's not like a derogatory, it's just like more like what these games target in terms of audience and who they appeal to, right? Like, there's a lot of people who play games like Persona for the social elements and play on a lower difficulty because they don't want like a challenge necessarily, or like whatever. They want something that's a little more breezy, and that's fine. But my point is, like, when it comes to enemies in the overworld, one argument that I can get on board with in certain cases where it's like a Nocturne or something, like a mainline SMT title, where part of the loop, and I think I talked about this in either my SMT5 video or Strange Journey video, or something like that. I think it was SMT5, where like part of the loop there is trying to survive to the next checkpoint. And I think some people view games like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. I just don't think that those games are like difficult enough for that to really regularly be a factor, so I don't mind quality of life additions, like being able to turn off encounters in the Pixel remasters or something, if you did that to Nocturne, it would totally trivialize the entire experience, yes. So like, it's not all cases, but... And so like, yeah, there's a survival element of like, okay, getting jumped by a random encounter that you're not prepared for and you die to it. Like, that's kind of part of that. But at the same time, with some games with encounters in the overworld, you will end up under-leveled in a lot of cases because you're like it's easier to avoid encounters, and people will say like, oh, that trivializes the survival element. But if that's not really a factor, then, or if that's not, like, it depends on how you view things, I guess, but like, if that's less of a factor, then you're probably, and it's more of a game that's like, the random encounters are just there to level you up for the bosses, which is like usually their primary utility, right? Then you would end up under-leveled or less higher-leveled for the bosses, which would make them more difficult. So I kind of view that almost as a good thing, where you can kind of tailor more easily, at least, and not be annoyed by the random encounters, because they're annoying, regardless of, like, even in a Nocturne where, like, it is part of the design philosophy, random encounters are still, like, they still can be annoying. But I hope that makes sense, I guess. I hope that makes sense. It's not like this is why I make videos, so that I can, like, meld these ideas into, like, something digestible. It's a protostar. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. The idea would be to just give the player more options to tailor the experience. Like, I like difficulty modes to be what they're gonna be. But at the same time, like, the occasional toggle here or there, like, on a first play at least, like, on a subsequent playthrough, whether you're making your own rule set via, like, something like a Nuzlocke or, you know, a solo run in a turn-based game or something like that, those kinds of things are kind of what give turn-based games their longevity in a lot of cases. Just got all the memories in Breath of the Wild. Nice. Nice. But, what's it called? I sort of lost my train of thought, but it's not a big deal. Oh yeah, like, I don't know, I think about, to give another Persona example, I like the way P4G, like Persona 4 Golden, handles this difficulty, because each difficulty mode, at least in the re-release, the remaster, or whatever, on, like, current platforms, each difficulty mode is basically like there's a set of conditions, like amount of EXP gained, amount of money gained, damage dealt, damage received, and then like whether you restart a floor or the whole dungeon kind of thing. And so like each of the difficulty modes has those set to a certain thing, but then you can modify each of those conditions on top of that, which I think is cool. Because I actually think playing Persona 4 Golden on very hard just makes it grindy and tedious and not fun. And so being able to, like, change some of the conditions on very hard, but keep, like, the damage dealt and damage received on, like, high and low, or low and high, respectively, is nice. This is, in fact, a ROM hack. This is Drayano's ROM hack of ORAS, Sinking Sapphire. Is this gonna have... I keep thinking I'm a fairy type, and I'm not. Not without the Megastone, at least. I think I just switched Langolier. Because this thing actually has good SPDF. Because the Gen 1 to 2 transition was weird. Or, like, the Hitmon... Like, to keep the BSTs, like, in line with whatever things were buffed to. Because, like, in Gen 1, Special was one stat, as some of you may know, right? So in Gen 2, most Mons either kept their special stat from Gen 1 as either their special attack or SPDF, and then the other one was either buffed or nerfed, like, depending on what made sense, right? So, like, I think Gen 2 is when Snorlax got his super high SPDF, but his special attack stayed low. I think. But with the Hitmons, I know for a fact their special stat in Gen 1 was terrible, And so in Gen 2, to not make them... Like, they got, like, crazy high special defense to keep their special attack low, and it's just, like, a weird holdover from that. It doesn't really make much sense. It's, like, strange, in my opinion, but... Yeah, it's, like, a weird thing. More time you take traversing the region, the higher the sea level rises. Say, sinking Sapphire. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, Shoal Cave. Shoal Cave does operate like that, to be fair. But yes, you thought there was too much water to begin with. Check this shit out. I would like to get Apollo in here to get him Hyper Voice. I do have Revive. Like, this is not a Nuzlocke or anything, so, like... I have Revives if he goes for a fighting move that kills me here, but he does not. Also, this is one of the better 3D models. Like, I like it when Hitmontop is spinning on its head, but I kind of like him doing his little, like, the dance that he's inspired by, you know, that his design's inspired by or whatever. And then, yeah, he spins on it. Like, that's a good 3D model right there. You sure can. A kind of a hallmark with Drayano's hacks is making every Pokemon accessible to some degree. Like, you know, so if there was like an evolution item that was post-game exclusive, you can probably find it somewhere or purchase it from a mart or something. But yeah, Gallade is in this game. It is. And I mean, Ralts being originally a Hoenn, it does make this distinct, because, like, you know, Ralts originally was just the Gardevoir line. Gen 4 added Gallade, so these remakes... I think normally you get the Dawnstone after you beat Wally, which is, like, right before the Pokemon League. But it is available sooner. Because, again, it might be one of the stones you can buy at Slateport. Because, like, that's how I got the Sunstone to evolve Helioptile. One of your MVP monster. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I used a Gallade way back in the day in Platinum, too. I wish I could remember my original teams from way back when. But alas, I have played these games too many times to recall something like that. Do I have a Repel up? I would guess I do. But yeah, if you're not... I hope this doesn't crash. If you're not opposed to doing a little bit of emulation, I would highly recommend looking into Drayano's ROM hacks, because I think they typically strike a pretty good balance with, you know, making the games more challenging but giving you access to more tools at the same time. Didn't throw on as a title, as a matter of respect. I can respect it. Now, to contrary what I said about Hitmontop, they did my boy dirty in Gen 6. Archeops looked cool in Gen 5. I like Archeops. And he looks stupid. They made him look stupid, man. Why'd they do my boy like this? Come on, man. It's so sad. I want to evenly train. I'm going to try to go Apollo and just see what... This is level 36, so I think we'll be okay. There's T-Bolt. Thrawn is a Star Wars reference. I feel like I have heard that name before, but I'm not like super read up or like familiar with the like books and the game lore and stuff like that. That's cool though. Paracosta also looks a little weird. It's also sturdy probably, so... Well, then again, what is it gonna... I got Hyper Voice already, so let me just T-Bolt this. High damage, Grass, Dark, Fighting, Psychic. Yeah, like, that... Gallade gets crazy coverage, man. Yeah, like Leaf Blade, Night Slash. close combat, I guess, right? And then Zen, not Zen Headbutt, Psycho Cut, probably. Outspeed the arrow. See, like, for every 3D model that is done well like Hitmontop, there's, like, at least 10 or more that are just kind of, like, not as interesting to look at as their sprites, in my opinion, but... Again, your mileage may vary. I'm an old head when it comes to Pokemon, so... Yeah. Oh, Mach Bike. Shit. I should have thought of that. I never think about this area, though. Do I think that there's anything useful up top? I suppose... Yeah, it's a little annoying. What route is this? 115? I can look at the docks and see what... I can see if there's any item changes on Route 115. Okay, did not find 115, so I'm guessing... Oh, this isn't even like route item changes. It looks like just stuff is purchasable that normally wasn't. That's interesting. It's usually not how Drayano does things, but it's fine. Let me see, though. Route 115, ORAS, and we'll look at... Bulbapedia is usually good about these things. Items. Heart scale... But not in... Okay, in ORAS, on the beach by the corner of the left of the stairs. Okay. Great Ball, Weeper Berry, Iron, PP Up, Heal Powder. I'm not seeing anything... Sunstone, but we already got that, so... Oh, 5% chance of receiving it after a rematch. Okay, never mind. Yeah, there's... I don't think there's anything up there that's useful, from what I can tell. So we'll just move on. But I will grab this heart scale. Even though you can buy them at Lily Cove, but it's going to be a minute before we get to Lily Cove anyway. Yeah, Heliolisk having Surf is great. I don't even necessarily need to run Water Move on Gren, because it's Protean. So, like, it changes his type. I mean, water coverage is just good, generally speaking, but... Oh wait, I said I was going to get this heart scale. But I could run, like, any 4 moves on it, because it does... It gets stab on everything because of Protean. Next time you play Pokemon, you'll need everyone after Star Wars characters, fair enough. There's the heart scale. Now... There's not much to do in Meteor Falls without Waterfall, I think. I mean, I can check while we're here. There might be an item or 2 I can grab. There's an item. Waterfalls required, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's one of the side entrances. I always liked this area. It's very cool. Especially in the era of Pokemon where, like, the caves are just kind of... The caves tend to be kind of generic, you know? Oh, I didn't have a repel up, damn it. Because that's my thing, like, I wish that, like, the caves, especially by the time we got to Sinnoh, were a little more distinct, you know? Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Gen 3 did a pretty good job with environmental, like, the diversity in the environments you're going through. Because you've got, like, the Fiery Path, you've got Jagged Pass is unique. You've got here, you've got, like, Petalburg Woods is just kind of like a forest, yeah, but... It's got a little, you know, kind of spooky vibes, sorta. Granite Cave is a little generic, I guess. Trying to think of what else. Like Mount Pyre's cool. Like there's a lot of cool like sort of dungeon like areas in this game. Random stalactites, right? I think I fought these guys. Okay, so next would be just surfing south of here. Wrong item. Yeah, we'll just keep spraying repels, it's fine. They're so cheap that it's like... I could just keep a repel up the rest of the game if I wanted to. I could just keep doing that. But yeah, surfing these southern routes, and I think... Again, I think that is it in terms of like optional exploration kinds of things. There might be some items up here, but there's like a waterfall. There might be like an item or two I can grab with surf, but there's no surfing here, no surfing here, no surfing here. I did strength here. Yeah, Rust Surf Tunnel doesn't have anything. Nothing here, really. There is something near the Windstrait house, but we'll head back this way anyway. Even though there is this water connecting route that I ranted about earlier, about how they don't seem to give a shit about it. It doesn't really matter that much, but it's just weird that they just jump you over here, but yeah. New Mauville, we gotta do. Assuming I can do that. Maybe I have to cross and get the Mega Bracelet and then we come back, but... I think we'll take these water routes down. Then do the Trick House, catch up on the Trick House. Maybe check the Windstrait item and New Mauville, and then we can actually move on. I think that's a good plan. Is Apollo or Gren further behind? They're about the same. And yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try... Thinking, I'd have to go back to Lava Ridge to get more Moo Moo Milk, so it should be useful. There's surf here, but I don't think... Is there even like an item to get? Where I think Pokemon peaked at? Probably Gen 5, honestly. I think there have been solid games since then, but it's also been kind of a while. Well, Legends Arceus did some interesting things. And I like Gen 7 as well, but I do feel like 5, not only for the things it did differently, but also just like for the way the series was heading, like the protagonists were a little bit older. Like, you know, I was 15 when those games came out, and I think the protagonists were around the same age. It kind of felt like the series was aging up with me at that time. But then clearly with Gen 6 and like onward, they kind of pivoted away from that, like trying to target the demographic that grew up with Pokemon at that point, and instead started just targeting the newer generations of kids, which, fair enough, but like I went into this in a previous stream where like I don't have a problem with that, but then like it's such a big IP, like why not have like another series that is aimed at people who grew up with it, I guess, because there is I would say a pretty large portion of their fan base, at least I think so, that still cares about or wants to care about Pokemon, but it's hard to in the current day, given the state that the games are released in, and all that jazz. Yeah, I know most of the stuff is on the left side here, but I just want to... And I'm not going to fight all these swimmers, because that would just take forever. That happened once before, where like they caught me as they were turning. Yeah, Gen 8, I don't know, I don't know, I enjoyed it okay, but like I don't really have a desire to go back to it at all. Is this Lightning Rod? It might be Lightning Rod, so like I kind of don't want to go into Heliolisk. Scalded will still do a good amount. Knock off. Why did that do so much? What the hell? This thing was probably buffed, but yeah. I don't know if it needs to go that far. I mean, like, Pokemon has always taken after more like anime sensibilities. And not that there aren't anime where people do get like viscerally hurt, you know, but it's less that, and it's more just like the way the games are balanced from a gameplay sense, and I guess like the way in which they present and tell their stories, I guess. Because it's not like Gen 5's story is perfect or anything, but it feels like a very earnest attempt at something that I think, at least for me, like does stick the landing and is far more interesting than pretty much any other story Pokemon has tried to tell. And again, not that that's the most important thing, but like, yet you have all these cutscenes and dialogue and shit like that. So like, if it's really not about the story, then why are you even bothering to try to tell the story? It's just weird to me at that point. Like, just make it in the background then, you know? In terms of like referring to Gen 8, whose story was like a fucking travesty. Shit was ass. Because execution matters. I think people... I might be guilty of this in some cases, maybe, but like, I think people do get hung up, especially when it comes to Pokemon, in like, oh no, the story in Gen 8 is good. Maybe in concept you could finagle your way into that line of thinking, but the execution is terrible. And again, that is an opinion thing, I guess, but I'm like, you're not telling me there isn't like so much more they could have done to convey those interesting ideas into the execution of said ideas? I find that hard to believe. Yeah, but like that was more so an implied thing of like, oh, he was visiting his dead mon, and like, it's, I really don't, I don't know, I don't put like that much stock into those kinds of things, honestly. Like Gen 1 is another one where it is more so like, on paper there's interesting things, but like the way it's actually told is kind of, it's fine. I mean, it's, I don't know, it's fine. Like, I think there's more you could have dug into, maybe not back on the Game Boy, of course, but like in, you know, the two remakes that Gen 1 has gotten. Digging more into like sort of the Mafia, Yakuza, like kind of inspiration of Team Rocket, and like kind of exploring those ideas more deeply and stuff like that. It's less about like the viscera of it, to me. Of like, oh, we need death and violence, and it's like, it's more... I don't know, I still think like Gen 5 and even like the GameCube games, I think, struck a good balance for like, you know, remaining something that is appropriate for all ages, but like can also be dug into and explored a little bit more deeply. Or like, not even dug into, because like you could, I guess, argue that for all of the games to some extent, but more so, I guess... What does this go for? I might just stand and surf. Yeah, because, like, I mean, Pokemon's always been, like, dark and eerie and like kind of fucked up in its lore, especially. Like, just look at most like ghost type Pokemon Pokedex entries, you know. Trevenant's on the team. Phantoms literally are like spirits of like children who wandered into the forest and shit like that. I don't know that Pokemon needs to be more like Spec Ops: The Line. It's an interesting cut, interesting poll, but yeah, I feel like that would feel strange to especially like I don't know. I just don't think that kind of shit necessarily needs to be in. Not that I'm like opposed to a like. It depends on what you mean when you say mature, I guess, because like that's an interesting point, though. Because I'm sure there are other people out there too that like when they say they want Pokemon to be mature, they are saying in terms of like blood and gore and shit like that. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's usually what people are referring to, but I could be wrong. Let me go into the dry skin mode. Yeah, I know the manga gets darker in certain ways, but like I don't even. I'm not like familiar with it at all, so like I can't really speak on it. And I know you're just fucking around, Protostar, but it is like an interesting. It's an interesting topic to discuss because it's like. I don't know, again, like I do feel like the design sensibilities and like target audience of Pokemon, well, it's always been like, like most Nintendo games, it's intended for all ages, but it's like, it is more distinctly targeted at kids these days compared to the way that it used to be. And again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, woe is me, this series should appeal to me forever and always. I'm just saying, like, why is there not like a sub-series that takes after more of what Gen 5 was trying to do, or what the GameCube games were trying to do, in terms of tone and subject matter in some cases. Not that I think the GameCube games' stories are like that interesting on the surface, I guess, on like the face of it. But the tone, like it's a tonal thing a lot of the time. Oh, I can get Sludge Bomb, maybe? Well, there are hacks like, fuck, what's it called? There's Snakewood, which kind of takes that angle. And there is... Why am I not thinking of the name? Unbound is also... Is it Unbound? I think is also like... But I also find that kind of like off-putting. Like it just kind of comes off as like edgy for edge's sake. And look, I love my early 2000s Edge. I mean, that's part of the reason why like P3 is my favorite Persona game, for instance. Part of the reason. But it's like I don't know. What's it called? Pokemon. Is it Unbound? No, Reborn is what I'm thinking of. Reborn is one, Snakewood is one, and God, what is that? Dark Rising. That's what I was thinking of. But I don't know. A lot of that kind of shit, it comes off as like and I know in some cases these were like young, like, you know, teenagers or whatever, like making shit and whatever, and that's fine. That's fun. It's just more like it kind of comes off as like a teenager like trying to make something dark and edgy just by adding more violence to it or something, and it's like, well, that's just like one factor that can make something like more mature, and even then you could argue that it makes it less mature in some ways too. See something like, you know, Borderlands or something, right? You can drop all the F-bombs in the world, but like if no one's taking your shit seriously, then, like, I wouldn't necessarily call it mature. Which also begs the question of, like, you know, M for mature, and it's like, okay, in some cases, yes. In some cases, no. But it's more just like, hey, don't, you know, maybe don't buy this for your kid if they're, like, 12, you know? Uranium, I don't know. I might have dabbled with it back in the day, but, like, I don't remember if that, like, what the subject matter or tone was of the story or anything like that. Explore Seamawville. Bing bong. Is this? I think this track is only used here, which I've always found strange. This is like they're preserving this, I guess? Sure. I'm sure that does absolutely nothing, but it's a bit of flavor, you know? Just a bit of flavor. I'm not opposed to some certain small game design decisions being made for flavor. Even if it's arbitrary, but it has to be small, you know? I don't even know if there are encounters here. In fact, I don't remember, like, how this was changed from the OG dungeon. Oh yeah, quite a bit. Also, like, Spiritomb is in here, maybe, or something? All right, the key, but this is very Metal Gear 2. Oh shit. I would have led differently if I had reacted fast enough, but it's fine. I think I just Blaze Kick you, and I guess we'll Will-O-Wisp the Scolipede. Dude, seriously? The flinch miss in one turn? Can we not? That's Quick Lop Rock. The luck balances itself out. The thing with Team Aqua and Team Magma, though, is, like, they're misguided, and, like, I don't know what they were... This is why Gen 3 story sucks, overall. It's interesting to an extent. Like, there's more going on than, like, the first two gens, for sure, but... It's like, what were they... They weren't... Like, they literally double back when they realize what Groudon and or Kyogre is gonna do. Like, that was not their intention, you know? But it's more like... It begs the question, like, well, what... Like, I know you're advocating for, like, more water or more land, respectively, but it's like, what do you... Like, what is the actual intent, though? Gen 4, it's, like, much more clear. Like Cyrus, you know, making his own universe in his image that he can, like, isolate himself in and stuff like that. And yeah, the Distortion World is sick. It's part of the reason why Platinum is so superior to Diamond and Pearl, in my opinion. Among, like, there were a lot of changes between the two games, to be fair, but all the more disappointing with what we got with the remakes. It's like, but I've said it before too, where like, even if it was a remake of Platinum, I don't know how good it could have possibly been, you know? Whereas here, I do think that if we had gotten a remake of Emerald specifically, I think that it would have been far more interesting. Still with probably the same pitfalls and stuff like that, sure, but more interesting nonetheless. Who do I want to lead? Who's further behind? Altaria, I guess. And I'll put Dompe back here too. Just in case we run into another double battle. Which who knows if there's another one on here. Oh, this is all... Yeah, they kind of neutered this dungeon, didn't they? There was quite a bit you could do prior to Dive in actual Gen 3, but here... Yeah, it's a little lame. Dive is going to be a thing too, isn't it? I guess I could put Dive on Gren temporarily when we need it. It's a little annoying, but it's not like the worst thing ever. Now that Heliolisk can run Surf and it's actually good. And thanks for popping in, Protostar. I hope you have a good night. I was playing too much Subnautica, fair enough. Alright, so I guess that's all we can do here. That's a little underwhelming. But it might be good to get a little bit of a move on anyway. I am going to opt to manually go to Slateport, which means... Sure, we'll fight you, I guess. I don't know why your range of vision is so terrible. Why... You put a position a trainer like that, I'm expecting her to be able to, like... see straight ahead, but yeah. We can do some battles. Aquatail. I'm trying to think of... I mean, I'll obviously put the Mawile on Mawile once I get the Mega Bracelet here shortly. But once I get the Altaria Knight, I'm a little torn on how I want to handle that. If I want to, like, change their held items out depending on what stretch of the game I'm heading into, you know? Like, which Mega would be more useful on which boss fight or something, you know, something to that effect. Because obviously, honestly, both Mawile and Altaria are kind of underwhelming in their base forms. I think Mawile can function better without the Mega. So, I'm just wondering then, like, am I going to run AV on Mawile and then Mega Altaria? Or am I going to put the Mega Stones on both and just choose what I Mega per battle? I'm a little torn on that. But I have time to, like, figure it out and think about it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to push all the way to Fortree. But I figure we'll wrap up this exploration segment, surf across, get the Violite for no reason now, get the Mega Bracelet. Maybe I'll go up to the Weather Institute and we start with that next time, or end with it, or something like that, depending on how long it's been. My Mawile's level 45. Just looking for islands with items. I know... The thing is with the hidden items, it's like, it's just gonna be stuff to sell, and I'm not really hurting for Poké Dollars. I'm more so looking for, like, if there's a TM or something, or whatever. Which, honestly, I don't remember there being much of note, like, much worth getting, at least in OG Gen 3, so... Or OG Hoenn. So I'm not... I usually wouldn't even bother to do all this. Like, I would go to the abandoned ship and do that, specifically. But even then, it's like, well, no, there was some stuff worth getting before the dive segment, from what I can recall. So it would depend, I guess. Are there trainers in New Mauville in this version? It's totally... It should be abandoned, but I don't... That's not what I meant to do. In fact, I don't even know how I, like, squeezed through there on the way up. Yeah, I'm like, maybe... Because I think we fight an admin for this Latias segment. So, like, I can just, like, kind of chip everybody up to 45. Even though Trevenant's at 46 already. Oh, we have the Trick House. Fuck. Do I care? I don't think the Trick House is... There's just, like, a lot of things in this game where, like, I just kind of prefer... Like, the layouts in particular of the original. There's pros and cons, certainly. But anything that had a changed layout, I'm kind of like... Not that I'm opposed to change or that it's inherently bad, it's just more like, I kind of think I prefer... Like how the abandoned ship was, for instance. And the Trick House is like, kind of the same deal. I mean, it's like, it's sort of nice to shake it up to make it like not as predictable, I suppose, but... I'm also like trying to remember if there's really like what do you get from the Trick House? Like, what are the Trick House rewards anyway? To the Google. And then again, I typically find the Trick House to be fun enough on its own to not really need to care as much about the rewards specifically. Because, you know, the hidden items can't be anything too important because you can't, like, re-access them, you know? So, like, in this game's case, it's all, like, status healers. Smoke Ball, Magnet, the Tents. There's only 6 There were more than 6 Yeah, they totally... the fucking hell, dude. I hate being the old guy who's like, oh, the original was better, but like in this particular regard, look, I like Gen 6 mechanically more than Gen 3, in terms of in-game. Physical special split, fairy typing, mega evolution, it's more interesting. For an in-game playthrough, at least. And for competitive, I think both formats are also interesting too, to be fair. But... yeah. Emerald Trick House. I thought there were like, there's like 1 per badge, right? Yeah, there's 8. Why are there only 6 puzzle rooms here, dude? There's the cut one, there's the sliding door one, there's the rock smash one, there's the strength one, there's the... Is there a revolving door one like Winona's gym? Let's see. Yeah, the first one's cut. Second one is like hitting switches. Okay, third one is also hitting switches, actually, I think. Maybe there's some rock smash rocks, maybe? For that one? Yeah, because 4, it doesn't show the hazards on the maps here. Yeah, they were changed for Emerald, actually, too. But they keep the same sort of thing. I think this was Strength. This was the quiz one, which is still in this. 6 is another strength one, I guess. Or no, maybe this was revolving doors, like with Winona. Yeah, it's like the Fortree gym. But yeah, like puzzle 7 with the spinning tiles, like Tate and Liza's gym, and 8 with the teleporter, like, or the sliding. But I don't know. That stuff's cool, man. It's not like the greatest thing ever necessarily, but like it's something. We'll get a Uzumaki to 45 somehow. And then we'll see if we can do New Mauville. If not, I'll just double back for it later. And even then, it's another one of those things where I'm like, what do you even get from it, though? No, you get a TM for it normally, right? Is that how you get Thunderbolt in the original game? New Mauville. Nice burn. Yeah, okay, yeah, you get Thunderbolt. That's why it was worth doing. Because Thunderbolt's a great move. Just in general. Especially back then. Even if he freezes, Scald will thaw me. Gotta love that pre-nerf burn. Okay, so that's still how you get Thunderbolt, but like unless I want it for coverage on something, but I'm also, like I already have it on Heliolisk, but I also don't think anything else can learn it on my team. Not even skill link. Rookie mistake. Boom, 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 ba-da-ba-da. Oh, I'm kind of out of healing items, aren't I? Ugh. Is it time to just bite the bullet and buy hypers? Firstly, this is just decorations. Yeah, who gives a shit? Dolls. Okay. No. Ribbon, and then you sell evolution items. Yeah. I was saying King's Rock could be an interesting held item. So I'll grab one of those. And sure, even though I'm not going to use these, we'll just grab them. Because I have the excess cash. In the game, at least. And then we'll go heal. Go heal, and I'm like, is it worth it to go all the way to Lava Ridge? Because, like, you have to take the lift up to Mount Chimney. Is it worth it to go through all that hassle? For healing items that are, like, cheaper and still viable, but I'm also like, why don't I just buy, Hypers? I don't know why Mega Stones aren't their own thing. I'm not gonna use this, probably. Black glasses, maybe. Safety goggles, probably not, but, like, it's has its utility. TP ups could actually be good. Like for Hoenn Leech especially. Yeah, like Hypers... It just seems like overkill. I think I would actually be fine with going back for Moo Moo Milks and just buying several dozen for a lot cheaper. Because it's mostly going to be used for out-of-battle healing. Just buy 5 more. Just because this next route is like kind of long. Although I guess there is a spot to like heal halfway through, that's true. In which case, I can get Gren to 45 at Mount Chimney. Or I could do the Trick House, but I'm like, the rewards aren't really worth it, and it's not really like the most interesting thing. Like when you need levels early on, yeah, but wait, there is like a rare candy we can get. That's true. Oh, fuck me. I didn't have a repel up, dude. See, this is what I mean. Like, in a game like this, the random encounters are posing 0 threat in, like, almost any circumstance. So it kind of just turns into an annoyance, unless you're specifically catching something. Or grinding against wild mons, which, like... The only reason I could see that happening is, like, for a Nuzlocke, I guess, or EV training or some shit, but I'm like... Other than that, like, why the hell are you fighting wild mons, though? Even in the, like, even in these ROM hacks, I'm like, never have I ever considered, grinding levels on wild mons. There's almost always more trainers you can just fight anyway. So I'd rather do that, because like, you get money from them, and they're just more interesting to fight, also. Like, trainers kind of are almost the equivalent of those random encounter blockades. I guess, like, that is the element that is more so, like, contributes to that survival sort of thing when it comes to JRPGs, but, like, you could argue that, yeah, if you, like... Yeah, like, yeah... Fair enough, like, they don't respawn in the same way that, like, a random encounter would. Like, let's say you're halfway between save points, or, like, you don't know when the next save point might be, so you maybe double back just in case. Like, you're close enough to justify it and you don't die. But then you're still, like, maybe you're a little higher level, I guess, but, like, you're still at risk of encountering a random encounter that kills you. Whereas, of course, once you beat a trainer, even if you do double back to go heal, it's still, like, isn't... It's fine. I don't really have an issue with that aspect, per se, of Pokemon specifically. It's just... It is a different style of JRPG in that way, I guess. Like, these aren't, like, dungeon-crawling JRPGs in that way. If you were to, like, sub-genre the sub-genre, you know? Like, it depends, because, like, there are JRPGs that focus on different things, where, like, some of them focus on, like, surviving individual encounters, or, like, you know, having the random encounters be there in preparation for bosses, versus the ones where, like, it is a little more survival-oriented, kind of, like, getting to the next checkpoint kind of deal. I don't think all JRPGs are like that. Even though, back in the day, like, a lot of them were designed like that to an extent. But... I don't know. depends. That's why, like, it didn't bother me that you could save anywhere in SMT5, for instance, because it's like, it's just clearly not that survival-oriented style of, like, dungeon-crawling JRPG. There's, like, barely dungeons in SMT5, and they're not even that great. The rest of the game is awesome, but the focus is clearly different than the older titles. And honestly, I would say games like Nocturne and Strange Journey almost sort of sold me on that aspect mattering more, though. Because again, like I said, people will point to that in Final Fantasy, but I'm like, yeah, but the gameplay was never... Like, okay, maybe in the original release of, like, the first game or something on NES, but, like, being realistic, it's like, when it comes to most of the older titles, it's like, they're pretty manageable. And, like, random encounters don't pose much of a threat in most cases either. Unless you are, like, drastically underleveled or something. And I guess because in some of the older FFs, you don't gain... Some of them you don't gain actual EXP from bosses, so, like, if you are avoiding random encounters, like, you'll eventually run into a boss that is a blockade in that way. At least in terms of the titles where, like, it's less flexible and you can't, like, rebuild your team as easily kind of deal. Or strategize differently. Because, like, you know, yeah, that is an option to an extent, but, like, the more limited team building and build crafting is, the more it becomes reliant on stats. Which is also fine. I know, like, for a lot of people that is a hallmark of the genre, but for me, I think the appeal of, like, playing a Pokemon game, for instance, is, like, being on par and sort of treating each individual trainer battle, or particularly the gym leader fights, as, like, kind of their own individual challenge. And the rest of it is just kind of in preparation for the bosses sort of deal. Rather than, like, being at risk of getting wiped between the boss fights, I guess. And then in terms of, like, Mega 10, what I like is there's rarely, if ever, been a Mega 10 game where, like, I've felt pressured to grind levels, specifically. It is almost always, like, maybe you grind a little bit to be able to fuse new team members, like fuse new demons, that you didn't have access to at the lower level. But a lot of the time, I find that, like, you know, fighting when you need to, when you're at risk, fighting when you need to not, like, unnecessarily die, and even then, like, I've died to random encounters plenty in SMT games, but it's like, usually it's like a team comp thing. Like, either fuse new demons, or, like, in Digital Devil Saga, it's like, yeah, grind for AP, for Atma points, to unlock, unlock new mantras, which are basically, like, you know, new skills. It's like a similar thing, kind of deal. Kind of, not really, but it's like you're not grinding because your attack stat is too low, or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, you might grind to try to get a specific skill, a new tool at your disposal, but the numbers, on a micro level, don't matter as much, in my experience. But that's also an option. Like, that's also an option if you feel like that is the angle you want to take. You could do that. I would just say you are probably wasting your time in some regard, or like, not... It's not about playing perfectly efficiently, because, like, you know, whatever, but it's like, if you play like a mainline SMT game and you're, like, grinding levels, I'm almost tempted to say you're playing it wrong, or just making... I guess that's... It's not about, like, policing that, it's more just, like, you're making it harder on yourself, I think. I think that's a better way to put it. You're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be. I kind of forgot to fight a trainer for trying to hit 45, but it's fine. And I mean, if you're purposefully doing like a solo run or something, then like, yeah, that stuff's gonna matter a lot more. But like I said, that is intentionally in this case, but that is you're limiting your team building like possibilities basically. And like I was saying, that makes the stats matter more. The even like minute increases can matter a lot more in that case. Or like Fire Emblem, for instance, like Fire Emblem, there are like, you know, there's building things to consider in certain titles in terms of like what skills you equip and stuff like that, sure. But a lot of the time, like the numbers still do matter a lot. To varying degrees, of course, but it's like, you know, every stat increase matters, especially on harder difficulties, like the older titles and stuff. But that's part of the fun, though, you know, like because. But there's also like so many decisions to make in Fire Emblem because of team comp, because usually it's a really wide cast, and so if someone isn't getting the level ups they need to keep up, you can easily bench them for someone else who might fill that role better, given their level ups or their base stats or like, you know, any other potential factors, you know. Of course, there are some units that are so consistent or have like such insane growths that they will be more often than not, like, insane regardless of what playthrough you're on, but then you can get into, like, 0% growth runs and, like, LTC strats, and, like, there's all sorts of other shit you could consider. And that Fire Emblem stuff in particular is on the mind because I am primarily playing Path of Radiance right now, replaying it. Awesome game. Awesome game. I'll save my thoughts for a video at a later date, but yeah. The soaring thing confuses me because I'm like, well, first of all, I remember there being a rumor back in the day when Emerald was coming out. I don't know if this stemmed from the internet, but I heard it from like a friend of mine who was saying that like, oh, in Emerald, you're going to be able to like soar around and there's going to be like sky areas to explore or something like that. I hope I didn't make that up. Like, I think that is something that I remember being a thing that someone told me back in the day. So I don't know if that was like an internet rumor or something or like whatever, but the fact that that and the spaceport thing, the Moss Deep Space Center thing, both of those things were kind of turned into reality with the remakes, I think that's cool. That would be like if Let's Go allowed you to catch Mew by going to like the truck near the SSN, right? Which I don't think was a thing, but like that, how cool would that have been, right? Yeah, I have to do this to get the Mega Bracelet, and they just hand you a Mega Lottie, which is, dumb, but whatever. Alright, we got a double battle with Steven. How do hazards work in a double battle? In a 6v6 double battle? Seems pretty good. 4v4 less worth it, so I understand. But T-Spike. Oh, they have the same idea, huh? I'm gonna do both layers. Also, does that just require switching in one poison type to absorb? Does it absorb both sides? Like, how does that work? So they have the same idea again. Yeah, it's like, joke's on you, I'm immune to T-Spike. I was a dark type before I clicked a move. No, I wasn't. I was poison type. Never mind. Okay, stop yelling at me. I forgot, okay? Chill out. God forbid a human being makes mistakes. On the internet. God, what a travesty. Alright, we can just click Scald. Stoys. Toxic Stoys. My new band name. This is Blastoise pose right here. He's not like, you know, moving around and shit. Like, what the f— just pisses me off the more I think about it, man. Like, what is that? Blastoise is sick. Have you seen, like, the shit he can do in the anime, man? I don't even know shit about the Pokemon anime at this point, but it's like, when it, like, goes to its shell and spin around and shit, like, that shit's dope, but in— why? Even an inkling of that sauce. An inkling. Just a taste of the sauce. I don't even need the whole bottle. I'm going too far with this, this idiom. This, allegory, whatever you want to call it. Flying Gem Acro is nice. Citrus. Interesting. There's the Archaeops. I'm not going to bother setting up 2 layers again because they probably just have another poison type in the back. I mean, if they click Dragon Pulse again, that's bad. I mean, I have a Steel type, thankfully. Interesting. It's a little annoying. I hope Archaeops breaks through and does something. Okay, cool. Because Blastoise will eventually die to Toxic. I can just Sucker Punch the Blastoise, because that might kill. No, not quite. But it'll die to Poison, so that's fine. Archaeops dies. Steven, do you have more than 3 Mons, please? Thank you. Like, I don't understand why the partners only have 3 fucking Mons. It makes 0 sense. Shiny? No? Why does it look like a shiny to me? I don't know. I don't know if the crit mattered, maybe. And, like, maybe Mawile will, like, base Mawile might be, you know, it'll continue to get outclassed as we progress. Of course. Luminion. Do I think a water move's coming out here? I'm gonna go Apollo. Because I can at the very least outspeed and Volt Switch into something. Yeah, Dry Skin. Stone Edge. On what was a Steel type? Okay. Sure. Bum, 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 banana. Kill the Barbarical. I mean, it might have Ice Beam, so I... Obviously, Dambe is the correct answer. I'm just thinking... I'm gonna try to use Cut. And just see how much it does. Outblade. Definitely intentional. I wonder, do you think T-Punch would have killed there? Also, it's Luminion, I was never in danger. Maybe T-Punch would be like the extra oomph that was needed to kill there. It's possible. Especially if I put... Do I have Expert Belt on this? Who's using Expert Belt right now? That would be probably the boost I need. But I am going to ditch Cut for T-Punch, probably, in the long term. Well, actually, maybe Night Slash temporarily or something. For Tate and Liza. Oh, what was I saying? Do you get access to Soaring now? What? What is... Stop with the arbitrary fucking bullshit, man. My god, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna actually fucking fall asleep to this shit, dude. Let's go. This is what I mean when I say, like, Gen 3 is, like, paced. Like, not necessarily the battles, but just, like, the game is just, like, go, like, let's go. That's one of the hallmarks of it, I think. And yeah, I understand, to an extent, I understand, like, trying to flex the presentation and leverage that in storytelling, but it just doesn't work, in my opinion. Like, it just doesn't... You're trying to do that with a game that was never strong in the narrative department. You know what I mean? And then you also adapt, like, the less interesting version of the story, being Ruby and Sapphire versus Emerald, which at least, like, as I've stated in previous streams, like, at least more is going on there. It's, like, two teams competing with each other, truly. But yeah, whatever. Charcoal. It's Quick Claw. Yeah, I should put Expert Belt on this, probably. Either this or Gren, but Gren has utility moves also. Where's the Expert Belt? Oh, you know what? I think it's on Altaria. So again, we have to arbitrarily go all the way back to the Pokemon Center because we were forced to take this Latias. even though we could just send it to the PC. That is an annoying thing with, like, Fossilmons. In, like, certain gens will allow you, when you get a gift Pokemon, to just send it straight to the PC, some won't. And it seems like an arbitrary thing. It's very annoying. And it's more so that I don't think it's consistent. Like, I don't know that it was, like, always one way and then it changed. I feel like it kind of went back and forth for a while, but I could be misremembering. Also, yeah, no, we don't get the soaring thing yet. Okay, that makes more sense then. Because I was gonna say, like, if you could soar, what is stopping you... What is stopping you from just, like, flying to the next gym, you know what I mean? And even then, we literally rode on the back of Latios. Or I guess it was Latios. Alright, Latios is too weak to fly. At least until you get the HM for fly arbitrarily from Winona. It's like... What a weird thing. What a weird little side adventure that, like, clashes with, again, how the game is still designed. It's not even, like, how it was designed. That's not what I'm complaining about. It's like, it is still designed like this, though. And undermining itself. It's not a matter of undermining the original, necessarily. This is a different game than the original. But when you keep some of these things the same, and then you change other things and don't really, like, fully think out the implications of those things, you get, like, weird... It's not even, like, big, like, downsides or, like, anything that, like, ruins the experience, per se, but it's little cuts that add up, you know? And it's still worth noting, I think. Maybe I'm being too nitpicky, but, like, I don't know. I think a lot of this is worth discussing and worth acknowledging, even if it doesn't bother you, you know? Talked about that a lot in the past, of, like, something that I see as a problem or a flaw or whatever might not be to other people, and that's fine. That's what makes talking about these things interesting, yeah? We all just agreed with each other, it'd be fucking boring. Give E-Belt to Azula, and... Did I give you the Mawile already? No, I did not, because I just saw it there. Anyone want to use AV? Not really. Yeah. Like, the Assault Vest is an optional item, I think, for Mawile, if I'm not going to run the Mawile for a certain fight. So, yeah. In that case, what do I give Altaria? What can I give Altaria? Where do you get... Leftovers is, like, on the ship. That's like a super late game. That's like on the ship to the Battle Tower, or Battle Frontier. Well, you know, in the game that has the Battle Frontier, that is. Got him. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should, like, your specs... Mawilite, Hardstone, just, like, whatever. Maybe King's Rock on you. I could just put the King's Rock on Altaria to just have something, but... Safety Goggles could unironically be kinda nice, though. Not that weather's gonna come up too much, but... Immunity to, like, Spore and Stun Spore and Poison Powder and stuff, like, kinda niche, but... better than giving a relatively slow mon a King's Rock to try to flinch, you know? Beep up up boop beep boop beep. Beep ba doo. If there's anything I would use a PP up on, what would it be? Anything that's 15 or more is probably fine, but like the 10s, like Horn Leech, I don't think I'm gonna give it Wood Hammer. I think Horn Leech is better. Because, like, you know, you heal damage instead of taking it, but Woodhammer's a good bit stronger, but yeah, I think I'm going to keep Hoenn Leech on this, though. So probably Hoenn Leech, Play Rough or Sucker Punch, maybe, but this thing's going to be so strong that I'm not going to be clicking those moves that many times. It's going to be one-shotting shit. This is fine. Hyper Voice is not going to get clicked that much. Strength is one that I think might be worth using one. I think Hoenn Leech for sure will give it one. And I think we will give Strength +1 as well. I kind of wish I held on to the 1 or 2 that I had earlier, but there's probably going to be a PP Max at some point too, so it'll be fine. I could also buy some Hypers in emergency case. Like, I want to prioritize the Moo Milks because they're still viable, but in the instance I need to heal more than 100, then yeah, maybe we just take 10 of those. Also, we can already buy these. Who buys max potions? I know full restores are way more expensive usually, or usually it's closer. These are actually cheap enough to where it wouldn't be that bad, but 200 is a lot. That usually carries you a good way until you can afford to just do full restores, but yeah. I do think Pokemon could do more interesting things in terms of, like... I've talked about the gym leader limitations and, like, changes that they could do. Any number of them, or any combination of them, really. But, like, boss fights in general, like, maybe even treating, like, fights against the evil team differently than something that's more of an exhibition, like a gym leader match. Not that they would change it this late into the series' life and how these things have been established, but it's like, I would almost view it as like if you lose to Maxie or Archie, you have to reload your save because it doesn't make sense for you to just get booted back to the Pokemon Center. But it's also like you suspend your disbelief and you're just like, okay, this is not really happening in universe. You're not actually scampering back off and then running back to challenge them. It makes no sense. Like, you lost. Like, that means that you would lose. And some people would be like, oh, well, there should be an alternate ending where they win. There could be a game over screen where they win, maybe, I guess. But that's not really a JRPG thing, though. Like, there are JRPGs with alternate endings, usually like bad endings or something like that, but it's not like a hallmark of the genre in the same way as Western RPGs. Which honestly, I kind of prefer when the story is just like, this is what it's gonna be. But it depends. There's pros and cons. It definitely depends. It's also like, you know, not saying every Western RPG or every Western game that does that kind of thing always does it well, but there certainly are ones that do. What am I doing here? So I think I don't want to go too much longer because the last couple streams have been a little long, but I figure we can maybe at least clear this like bottom-most part of the route, and then maybe call it. Yeah, we're not in the area where it's raining. Yeah, I think T-Punch is going to be much better. See, if Flamethrower was 95 base power, would have killed. Not even a Mandibuzz at this point? Come on, man. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-ba. Oh, you're... Trevenant's almost 47 at this point, damn. That's crazy. Ba-ba. Buddy boo. I'm gonna double check if I have a super repel up, because I keep forgetting to just keep spraying them, because it just doesn't matter. Especially because they were made cheaper in this ROM hack, too. Bum ba dum bum ba dum bum bum ba dum bum. I need to drink more water. Double kick. Wow. Mightyena is still ass. This just in. Very cool design for an early Routmon, but yeah. Stat-wise, not great. Where's my Mega Mightyena? That might need to be a thing. Who wants to tell him that he should lead Zoroark? Then again, he's got a squad of all dark types, so it wouldn't matter, but... yeah. Bro didn't get the memo. Or Sis didn't get the memo, I guess. Forgot who we were fighting. I was like, what? No. I also don't want to burn myself out in this game. I've been very critical, but it still has been fun to a certain extent, you know? Like, building a team in Pokemon is, like, not a competitive team, but I mean, like... you know, whether it be... oh, that's good. Whether it be evolutions, or, like, new moves, or, like, new boss fights, it's like, there's usually, like, something, at least upcoming, that is exciting about any given Pokemon playthrough. If you enjoy the loop, that is. If you enjoy the overall loop, which I do, generally speaking. Ba-da-da-dum. Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Some Seer and some Sage, you are missing one. Y'all should have been triplets. Yeah, I'm not opposed to surfing here. In the off chance that Skull doesn't kill, and like Gren resists it, so like it... oh my god, what the fuck? I'm constantly surprised it's like an 80 base power move just like annihilating a health bar that quickly is crazy. Oh, right, I'm choice locked, yeah. Thankfully, Altaria resists. That's a case against Specs. I could run AV on Heliolisk, like, that's another option. Because we are running 4 attacks. If I don't want to get, like, choice locked like that. Yeah. I think in most cases, Specs is going to be good, though. Rabuta. Wait, a what? The Gracidea. Yeah, so you got some references to I thought she was going to repeat it back. Make use of these Moo Milks while they are still viable. Get your Moo Milks, get them while they're viable. We can like Volt Switch out on a lead. Also, this is an Aroma Lady, so she's probably gonna have... We might actually see the safety goggles come into play here, maybe. Probably. Poison Powder or Sleep Powder? Because I think electric types are just immune to... Like, they can get... Can you get parried by Body Slam? I keep getting this shit confused, man. Because I think they can get parried by... Maybe they're just straight up immune to para, period. Dude... Because we're Sludge Bomb, okay. Paralysis. Pokémon. Electric types are immune to paralysis. Just period. So they can't be parried by glare or anything like that. Because yeah, I know ground types can be paralyzed by glare or like body slam or something like that. We take those. I would be curious when Altaria gets I would be curious as far as when Altaria gets Dragon Dance. Oh, it's a relearner move. Level 30. Strange. Swablu doesn't get it at all. We get Hyper Voice at 46, but we're running a physical set, so... It's better than Moonblast when it's pixelate boosted. Aside from the special attack drop chance, but Moonblast is not going to stay on anyway. See, look at that, safety goggles. Safety goggles came into play there. Should probably be clicking something else because I only have 12 of these, but yeah. Gets Outrage at 58. That's like an option we could take, I suppose. Yeah, Hyper Voice. No. Running a physical set. Blossom. I think this is a fairy type in this. Let's go Ken. So you think that Blaziken's name is Blaze Chicken, but it's actually Blaze and Ken from Street Fighter, because Ken has a fire attribute to his attacks. I also might be joking. I'm trying to think. There's a house north of the tall grass area. And I'm trying to remember if that's like a healing spot or not. I kind of think it might be. Oh my god, this shit is so fucking slow. One berry? Are you serious? There's 3 on the tree, my guy. But also weakness berries could actually be useful, so I'm kind of like, There's 3. I can see them. Why did you do it this way? Why is the number of berries you harvest not congruent with the image that I'm seeing? Ken in a Blaze, you can see it right. Well, because you could just straight up name... Like, that would be a good nickname for Blaziken, is just Ken, but like as a reference to as a reference to Street Fighter. Who would Ryu be then? Hitmonchan or something? I'm trying to think like what other fighting type sort of resembles Ryu. I don't think Hitmonchan's bulky enough. He's not square enough. You know, as in his, like, his shape. I guess Lucario's fair because like Aura Sphere is associated with him, the Hodoken and stuff like that. That's fair. Dude, I always found it odd how much marketing was put into Lucario of all things. Lucario's a cool mon and stuff like that, but like then when I played Gen 4, because I'm pretty sure they were marketing Lucario shit like prior to Gen 4 or like around the release of Gen 4, and then like I got it and I was like, this doesn't feel like it's not like, it doesn't really line up with how he is in the games, I guess. It's like he's just another Pokemon, so to speak, and like Aura Sphere isn't even that good of a move, really. In some cases, maybe, but like, yeah, Smash is a factor too. But that might, like, Lucario's inclusion in Smash might have stemmed from his popularity elsewhere, but they literally did it. They did a movie, like one of the Pokemon movies is about Lucario and Mew randomly. It's like, what? Like this is like a Gen 4 movie. I kind of liked some of the Pokemon movies though back in the day. Some of them. I mean, of course, I grew up with the first two. I don't think I've ever seen the third one. Destiny Deoxys was kind of fun, but I'm also a Deoxys fan. But yeah, because then Gren was included in Smash 4 for Gen 6. Never got a Gen 5 Mon. Would it have been Zoroark, I guess? Would it have been Zoroark, probably? If I had to guess. But alas, there was not a Smash game in that time frame. I'm very curious if the battles are going to feel any faster or slower in Gen 7. Since it's been a while. Like, if I were to, like, compare the flow and the speed of battle, I think they're both pretty slow. And I don't mean, like, in terms of frame rate or whatever, because I know Gen 7 was, like... I think they even disabled the ability to use the 3D slider in battles, because it would not perform well. And it probably... I don't remember having many major notable performance issues with Gen 7, but I think I had a new 3DS at that point, so maybe that's why. That's probably why. Lead Gren just to... Well, we can just leave the squad like this. I could go back to Mauville and heal properly, because I'm thinking we'll just call it here. Because I'm thinking... This route is long, but it's not, like, that long. And then we'll get to Fortree, and then I can push kind of like, it's kind of just a linear path towards Lily Cove from there. So like if I can accomplish enough post Fortree for the following time for like, you know, the 7th stream to be leading up to and including Tate and Liza, and then I think it should be doable. I think this ended up actually being paced pretty well. I'm glad I did that now. In fact, I think I'm going to go back to Mauville real quick and heal. I kind of wish there was like an indicator that a repel was still up or something. That would also maybe get a little annoying. I just had flashbacks to Link's Awakening remake, where if you play on hero mode, there's like perpetually an icon in the corner, which is pretty annoying. It's like you couldn't have made that like an option to turn off the icon for hero mode or something, but whatever. Do some quick inventory management and then call it, because I want to do something else. Let's see. This is probably worth the money more so than what it can do. Rare candy. You can just hold on to it. I'm not really hurting for Poké Dollars. Max Revive just for outside of battle stuff. I might take a look at my TMs real quick, too. So I feel like if... I'm just gonna buy a 20th one so it's a round number, but I feel like... if Gren could learn Sludge Bomb, it would run it. But, well, okay, then again, maybe the targets that it's trying to hit are more specially defensive, and so that's why they run Gunk Shot. But also Gunk Shot's stronger, obviously, but... Let's see. I doubt it actually gets Sludge Bomb, because I feel like you would maybe see that on competitive sets in, like, some niche circumstances or some shit, maybe. So let's see. Toxic, everything I can get, because this is not Gen 9. So if I want to run Toxic on anything... I could run Toxic on Gren, because it would turn Poison and then bypass the accuracy check. Or like it would be 100 accuracy, because you're then a Poison type. And it also eliminates the issue I was talking about with T-Spike, with like statusing stuff that I don't want to status with Poison. Yeah, that works. Taunt, Rain Dance, Smackdown, Dig. Mawa's the only way they get Sludge Bomb. It's weird. Is there anything I could get rid of Rock Tomb for that would be better coverage-wise? Bulldoze. Altaria gets Dazzling, that's it. Okay. I don't know, Kren can't really use a lot of these. I like the Toxic change, though. I think that's a good one. Because, yeah, I've already established there's not many better fighting options here. This will be Thunder Punch, probably in the long term. I mean, the thing is, Rock Smash is just, like, needed for Team Aqua and, like, Victory Road and shit, so, like, I don't see this going anywhere as much as I'd like to use a better move, but it's also not terrible. It hits steals, you know? It's got its use. Hits normals that I'm switching in on because of the Ghost-type immunity and all that. The Ghost-type's immunity to normal, I mean. Yeah... Rock Tomb has been weirdly kind of useful at times, though. But I'd rather run something like Ice Beam, obviously, but I don't... I think that's probably Shoal Cave, yeah. Let's just double check real quick. Alright, Ice Beam was not moved. In which case... Also, I can buy the rest of the HMs from the Mauville Mart. See Mauville. Oh, so we need Dive. Great, okay. Thanks. Bet your ass I'm not running Blizzard of all things. I doubt it gets Frost Breath. That's in Shoal Cave. That's dog shit. Whatever. I already said, like, this moveset's probably pretty final. Same with this one, honestly. Like, this is probably pretty much what it's gonna be. This will be DD, but I have to go relearn that. Should I go do that? The thing is, Cotton Guard's, like, actually kind of useful sometimes. So, I mean, like, I guess it's a little passive, though. I think I'd rather wait till I get Fly, and then we can just fly back to Fall Arbor and make some changes then. Because then this will have a fully physical set. Strength Fly, Bulldoze until we get EQ. DD. Yeah, I don't know. There's some compromises I have to make with the team building here. Because of HMs, it's less consequential because of the HMs actually being, like, decent moves. But that and, like, the Mega Stone limitations and stuff like that. But I think it's as simple as just, like, deciding who I want to run as my Megamon in any given circumstance. Because originally when it was going to be Flygon over Altaria, of course Flygon doesn't have a Mega, regrettably, right? We'll activate the Rain just in case it lags. Cool. So yeah, there's like a lot of I don't know if I'm going to fight all the trainers here next time or not. It depends on how I'm feeling. We don't really get a good check as far as like where I'm at level-wise until the Weather Institute, so... And even then, if I'm like, being under-leveled is like sort of part of the experience of these hacks usually, but I'm like a little weirded out that it hasn't been. So, I don't know if something is inherent to like the EXP formula here, or the EXP that's doled out, and that wasn't adjusted, or if there's just... Or if Dre didn't want to make the boss levels too high to not have to force you to fight every trainer, but... Because there's like so many optional trainers, in this gen especially. But... I don't know, I guess it was closer with Norman, but still... And I skipped a good number of trainers now, so like, maybe it'll even out. Because then, you know, if I'm behind, I just go and fight more trainers, and I'm more intentional with fighting everything. And then if I'm not, it creates for a little more interesting and challenging experience with the boss fights, so it's kind of a win-win. Because if I feel under-leveled and I need to go like that, like that's my own doing for skipping trainers, you know? I prefer that to mandated grinding, where like even if you fight everything, you're still under-leveled. Because there are definitely older JRPGs designed like that, for sure. But, yeah, without further ado, I'm going to call it. I need to go eat dinner, and I guess next week we will continue to Fortry, get the 6th badge. Well, maybe fly around and do some stuff, but probably not too much. But probably try to press on at least to Lily Cove, and maybe do some of the story stuff in between that.